All right, everybody. The crows outside my apartment say there's a full moon tonight. I'm going to mute all here. Yeah. And there they are. Hello, crows. All right, so we haven't done it every Friday, but we do it many Fridays. Let me go back a little bit. I like to do this breathing exercise called alt nostril. And it's nice to go so we can reach the different sides of the brain, maybe. So it starts with the deer mudra. So we're bringing the peace fingers down and in. So it's like kind of the opposite of the peace fingers. So everybody else is up except for the peace fingers. And we're going to take the knuckle on that pointy finger, or however you can get comfortable. We take that to the third eye. We're going to close the left nostril with the fingers that are right on over there. And we're going to breathe in through the right since it's open. Then the thumb will come down and close. So both are closed for a moment. We'll open out the left and then breathe out through the left. Then we breathe back in through the left. We close both and then out through the right. Good. Back in through the right. And we close both out through the left. Back in through the left. Closing both out through the right. And some more, please. Breathing in through the right. Closing both out through the left. In through the left. Closing both out through the right. Few more. In through the right. Closing both out through the left. And in through the left. Closing both out through the right. Good. Let's just sit for a second and let ourselves kind of stabilize all that oxygen. Yeah, it gave me enough of a head rush that I couldn't say oxygen. So just sitting nice and easy. We're going to do some deep breathing, which will be only slightly different than the breathing we'll do for the entirety of the class. So we'll breathe both directions in and out through the nose. But when we breathe out, and I'll remind you, I want you to breathe out more than you took, like you're trying to clean the lungs out. So just breathing in through the nose. We'll hold it for a second, and then we're going to breathe out more than we took. That's hard. There's a resistance. So just do your best. We're going to breathe in through the nose. Going to hold for a moment. We're going to breathe it all out. And more. Breathe in through the nose again. Breathe it all out. And more. A couple more of these, breathing in through the nose. Breathe it all out. And more out. One more, breath in. Hold for a moment. And then breathe it all out. And let's hang out, let the breath return to normal. Because that does give me that kind of yogic high, and I'm a little bit dizzy. So for the rest of the class, just the normal yogic breathing, which is in and out through the nose. We're going to start with a favorite of mine. We're going to put the right hand down with the fingers pointing away. The arm will remain straight. The left arm, the palm, can initially face the sky. Then we're going to come up and over, looking along the armpit to your ceiling, but keep the right arm straight. And let's continue with just a simple breath in through the nose, Simple breath out through the nose. Just over and over. Excellent. Let me move this mat. Switch the hands. So left hand down, right arm up and over. We might use a belt or a strap or a towel for a few of the poses tonight if you want to have that close to you. I have my old piece of material that I use. We're going to keep breathing. Good. Back to center. Let's put the right hand forward. Watch my shoulder. We'll bring it down. We're going to take the left hand and grab those fingers and pull back a little bit and breathe here. And then on the other side, we switch. Good. You can shake the hands out. Those of you that want to step back to push up and do a vinyasa are welcome to. And you can do that in between any of the poses. I might not yell it out as much tonight, but know that you're welcome to get that push up in. Let's put the hands on the knees. And let's do like, well, I'm going to call it upright cat-cow because it's the same kind of movement. Belly forward, we look up a little bit, and then we arch the back on the out breath. Just moving the spine. Just about 10 more seconds of this one. Back to center. Anyone that wants to sneak a vinyasa in is welcome to. Straight line, crown of the head to the tail. You can keep the hands on the knees, and we draw a circle on the ceiling. That's moving like you got a laser on your head and you're cutting a hole in the ceiling to see the sky or possibly your upstairs neighbor's apartment. I accidentally astral projected once and I was laying in the dark. And as I astral projected, I went up and then all of a sudden there was this really bright light. And we're going to go the opposite direction. And I thought, you know, that it was the bright light, and but I realized later that I had actually astral projected up into my neighbor's apartment and their lights were on. That's why I saw a bright light. Just a little more. Good. Back to center. Let's reach the right arm up. We do this one a lot. I like it a lot. We'll bring it down the spine. We're going to take the left hand and grab the elbow. Push the head against the arm. We'll feel the core lengthening in here a little bit, pulling in a little bit. If you're super open, you can bring the hand around the back. You could also use the strap on the hand down the spine and then grab that with the other arm, and you can kind of tighten up. But make sure you're looking straight forward if possible. And that may be hard. And let's breathe. Excellent. Let's switch. Left hand now down the back. The right hand will come around there, and we will grab that elbow. Or if you want, you come around the back and grab the hands together. And then be aware that you're looking forward, so you will have to push the head back into the arm, which you'll feel in the joint of the shoulder, and we'll breathe here. Good. Vinyasa if you like. The rest of us are going to reverse plank. So we'll put the feet straight forward and point the toes a bit. Let me go sideways so you can see this one better. And we're going to make sure the fingers are pointing up towards the feet. So those hands will go back far enough behind you so they sit under the shoulders. And we're going to lift the hips up. You tighten the core and look at the ceiling. Don't let the head drop off. Good. And we're going to come back down. Let's bend the right leg. We're going to do a couple different versions of this Janu Sirsasana today. So the first version is just reaching out, grabbing the toes. If that's real far away for you, you could either just grab the shin or you could use the strap. And for the version I'm going to do tonight, the strap is actually really good, although I'll demo it on the toes. Just grabbing the toes, the other hand can grab the wrist because they don't always both reach down there. And we're going to stay looking straight forward, and we'll take a few breaths here. If you want to do the normal forward fold, bringing your nose to your knee, that's fine. But this is a different version, and it affects the body, especially in through here, a bit differently. So let's breathe. Good, let's do the other side. I'll do a little less talking on this side. So your choice to either grab the strap or the shin, looking straight forward, or doing the full forward fold if you prefer. You'll notice it affects the back a little differently if you're not forward folding. So let's just breathe, experiment with it. Good. Both feet out. Let's reverse plank. So you saw it from the side before. You know how to get your hands back there, fingers forward. You can vinyasa if you like. We lift up, we look at the sky, and then back down. And then we're going to do like Groundhog Day and just do the same thing. But we're not going to do the same thing, but we're going to start the same. Then if you wanted to use a strap, it's real good on this one. But we're going to do left on left. So left hand grabs the left toes, the strap, or the left shin. Now this time, kind of like extended side angle, we're going to reach the right arm up and over. You want to try to pull this right shoulder back so that the shoulders are stacking flat over top of the leg so your chest is facing straight out and away. And you want to see the ceiling along your arm. Let's breathe here. Some of you could come way down and get both hands on the foot, but make sure you don't lose sight of the ceiling, because that means then we're dumping the pose in an improper way. Great. Let's switch on over to the other side. And we'll get a hold of the foot however we can, or the shin or the strap. Same thing now, like extended side angle. We got that long line running up the side. And for some of you, you can come way down and get the foot, but make sure you can see, again, the ceiling along the arm, and let's breathe. Excellent. Let's both legs out. Let's reverse plank again. You can point the toes. I used to do it with the toes up, but you can do it both ways. We'll look up at the ceiling as we lift the hips. Good. We're going to come back down, and we will bring the soles of the feet together. Now you want the knees to fall down as best you can. If it's real sensitive and you feel like you're having a tough time holding them up, you could put something underneath so that you can relax, but I'm not going to do that myself. Straight back, butterfly the legs if you like. We're going to breathe here. The feet remain flat on the mat. So even though there is a bit of pressure pulling up on the toes, the feet are not coming off the ground. Excellent. Let's fold forward. Use your elbows to push against your legs, folding your face down towards your feet. Now you could experiment with lengthening out and trying to put your heart down on your feet. It moves it into the legs for me right in here when I lengthen out. So find a space. Let's breathe here. Good. Those of you that want a vinyasa, you can bang that push-up. Otherwise, we're going to reverse plank, which is our in-between pose in this Easy Friday. Good. Back down. However you can simply cross the legs, simply cross the legs. We are going to put the hands on the shoulders with the elbows pointing out and away. We'll take a breath in as we twist to one side and a breath out as we go to the other side. You can go whatever tempo you want to, but make sure the breath is connected to the movement, so it's rhythm, in on one side, out on the other. You could bring the arms out like paddles. You could bring them way out. That's a lot of leverage. Be sure to be careful with that. My right side feels tighter, so I'm going to put the out breath over there. So that you do the same, whatever your tight side is, if you got one, put that out breath there, and that will help you level out those sides. We might do a couple standing poses today. We'll see. Good. So take the right hand and put it on the left knee. And the left hand either goes right behind you. So fingers are kind of pointing out and away. And maybe the hand can go flat. Maybe it can't, depending on the length of your arm. Then pull the left shoulder back and gently look back. You could also bring that arm all the way around and grab your shirt, your pocket, or your leg. And then try to sit up tall and breathe. So we're kind of almost always making the spine a bit longer. Good, let's come on all the way over to the other side. So we're going to do left on right, or whatever the opposite is for you. And then if you want to come around and get the shirt or the leg. And always remember, in most of these twists, the head goes for the ride. We're not twisting in the neck. It's a torso twist. Good. Let's reverse plank again. Then we're going to do this very interesting hip stretch. Good. Back down. Let's take the right leg. So we're going to take our right heel and stick it underneath the left hip. So if you can see, now my right knee is pointing straight forward out of my body. So we're going to take now the left leg and maybe just put it right there. And that might be super intense for you. If it's not super intense for you and you feel like you're okay with going more, right hand grabs the shoelaces of that left foot and we can pull back and sit up tall. Today we'll just push the knees down. You could do the other bit, which is around the back here, but I like just being able to have the hands here for myself. So it is up to you. And let's breathe. Great. Let's switch it up. So we'll do the other side. So your left heel is going outside. So you can kind of see my left foot is flat here and pointed out to the side. So it's just down underneath I'm underneath the hip with my heel a little bit. If you can get it on the outside a little bit, that's okay. And then I'm going to grab the shoelace. This side is a little harder for me. I find a good trick is to push in the ground and roll a little forward. And then I push those knees down. And let's breathe again. Good. Before we get down into cat-cow, let's stand. I'm going to go way back there. I might get my head chopped off, but it's okay. We're only going to do a couple of standing poses. We're going to do a horse tonight. So we want the toes splayed out, opening up to the legs, but put the hands on the knees so we can keep it kind of not too much of a workout. And then let the rear end drop down, but really feel the heaviness in the palms of your hands. And then on an out breath, rotate the right shoulder forward. And then on your next out breath, the left shoulder forward. And just a little bit back and forth. And we're going to do maybe one more standing pose today. We'll see. Just a little bit more of this. Good. Let's come up. Turn the toes so they're running straight forward. I've just been dying for this today. It's my forward folds have not been great. So we're just going to reach up, and then you can just, we're going to grab the elbows today and just let the back open and hang here. Excellent. Back up. We'll do both sides of it, but this will be the last of the standing poses. We're going to turn the right toes straight out. The left toes are about 45. We're going to bend that right leg. We're just going to do warrior 2. And we're just going to breathe here. Let this leg be kind of like a nice shelf. Good. So you'll need to straighten that leg that was in the front there. We're going to pivot. We'll turn the right toes to 45, and now the left toes out. And we'll bend that left leg, and we'll stay here. And we look at the middle finger on the left hand and just long, deliberate breath, tight core, light shoulders. Good. You can straighten that leg, and then let's just get ourselves to hands and knees. The knees will be 2 fists apart. We're going to do the cat and the cow. I'm going to do it on the side today. So let the belly drop down. As you breathe out, we arch the back. Just moving in the spine. Good. Let's come up to the knees and let's take a moment. I'll go sideways so you can see. I'm on my toes, and I'm on my toes for a reason, because I want the back bend to be kind of light and easy. We're going to take the thumbs and put them in the lower back, pulling the elbows together. We're going to just look up. This is the camel. Those of you that want to can put those fingers down on the heels. So since you're up on the toes, tighten the legs when you do that in the front. It's a little easier. If your back bends are real easy, you can put the feet down flat. I'm going to keep my thumbs in my back and just look at the ceiling. Good. Let's come back down. Just a couple of little easy cat-cows. Good. Go ahead and step your right foot to the top of the mat. If your left knee, we are mostly going to keep the knee down. If it bothers you, you can just take the side of your mat and double it underneath. And we're going to reach the arms all the way up like a big funnel, and we're going to breathe here. So the right leg is in the front. Take the opposite arm, which will be our left, or whatever the opposite is for you, outside of the knee. Hands pull in prayer towards the chest. Turn the fingers up towards your face. Now, I like to look at my foot. You could look to the ceiling. You want to pull that right shoulder back a little bit. You could also roll back onto the ball of the back foot, straighten the leg, or keep the knee down, and let's breathe here. Good. Step back to tabletop, hands and knees, and let's do the other side. Left foot up there to the top. And you can put it up a little further, and then we make the big funnel. And we're going to breathe here again. And when you're ready, we'll take that right arm, bring it outside the left, or whatever the opposite is. Hands in prayer, pull in. We turn the fingers up to the face. If you roll back on the ball of the foot in the back there, please do that. Otherwise, do what you did on the other side and breathe. Good. Let's put the hands down, back to tabletop. Those of you that want a vinyasa, go ahead and then meet up the rest of us. Excuse me. Right foot again, top of the mat. We're going to do a different version. Both hands like Superman, straight up on this one. And we're going to breathe here. And let's bring those hands down right on the inside. Right hand right on the inside of the right foot, left hand under the shoulder. Now, I'll probably stay here, but you could walk those hands forward and start bending the arms until the elbows are on the ground. The right elbow would be right next to the right ankle. Let's breathe here. I like to look at the ground when I do this. All right, let's step that back. We'll do the other side. So step the left leg up, but start with the arms up. Let your hips hang down, straight up with the arms, Superman style. And again, down on the inside there. That left hand, you see it's right next to the foot. Keep your leg pulling against your shoulder. You can feel it pushing a little bit, and let's breathe here. And if you want to put the elbows down or try to, it's okay. It'll come eventually. Good, step back. Those of you that want to vinyasa, please vinyasa. And then we're going to stay hands and knees for the rest of us. You want to see again that the hips are over the knees and the shoulders over the wrists, because people have a tendency to kind of shorten it up on this one. And I want you to keep that length there. And we're going to turn the right hand in to face the left. And then we're going to feed the left arm through, laying onto the shoulder and the side of the face. So I like to push the right hand against the mat. Some people like to come up and come around, grab the leg or the shirt. But for me, pushing against the mat really works. And of course, we breathe here. Just do the deep breathing. If nothing else, it's really awesome. Get your mind calm and clear and full of oxygen. Great. Let's do the other side. So we're going to take the left hand and turn it in there and feed the right arm through and lay here. If you reached up your arm, you're welcome to, or just pushing the hand against the mat. Good. Back up, those of you that want to vinyasa, vinyasa. The rest of us are going to sit down. And if you want to double up your mat under your tail, that's great, because we will be on the tail. So we're going to do our boat and ab work. So bring the arms under the legs and just roll back and balance on the tailbone. Now you could stay right here. You could let go. You could straighten the legs. You know, all of those options. I'm going to keep my legs bent today, and we're going to breathe here. This is 1 of 5. Good. Cross the legs, grab the shins, and then make your back straight as you sit up really tall. And then number 2, let's come back up. Cross the legs, sit up tall. And 3 is a magic number, all the way back up. Really relaxing into this simple practice tonight. Cross the legs, sit up tall. Good. Up again, number 4. You're welcome at any point to just hold the legs and balance on your tail, or let go, or straighten the legs. We'll breathe. Cross the legs, sit up tall. And 1 more, back up. Good, cross the legs, sit up tall. We're going to do our hip opener, the thread the needle, and I'm going to do it from this view tonight, so you'll be able to see where my legs are. But we're going to lie back, the feet and knees are 2 fists apart. We're going to lift the right leg up and bring that right ankle just down the left leg below the knee slightly. The right hand, same side as this leg that came up, is going to come through and grab either the shin with the underside of your leg. And then the other hand comes around from the outside. And then the head and shoulders lay down flat. And we bring the toes a little bit towards the shins. You could try to rotate this right knee forward towards me, if I'm in front of you, that is. And we breathe here, of course. Super awesome breathing. Good, let's switch. So we start with both feet down, left leg up, down the right side. Hand on the same side comes through and the other hand meets. And we make sure we lay back flat as we can. We can bring the toes towards the shins and we breathe again. Good. Both feet down again. We're going to do bridge. Those of you that want to do Urdhva Dhanurasana are welcome to. But a nice thing to check is how far away your feet are. You should almost be able to touch it with your longest finger, but not quite. And then we lift the hips, tuck the shoulders, intertwine the fingers, and push the arms down. You're welcome to do supported. You're welcome to do Urdhva Dhanurasana. And we're going to stay here, just breathing in bridge. Excellent. Back down. If you have a strap or a towel or a belt, now is a great time to use it. Although you can just hold your hand on the back of your leg. We're going to lay down flat. Let me get in a good spot here. And we're going to strap the left foot or just hold it behind. If you can get above the knee, it's best behind the calf. You just use a towel or an old t-shirt. And then we just kind of hold that foot up as we lay all the way flat, and we're going to stay here. I like to sometimes put my right hand on my right leg. Let's breathe. Keep a hold of that leg. You're welcome to actually even bend it and hold the knee and open up to the side. Or with the strap, you can have the leg remain straight. And then reach the right arm out and we'll look to the right hand so the head turns. Bring that leg back up. Switch hands on the strap or the leg so the right will grab the left. And then now let that left leg fall over to the right. The hip has to come up. And then we'll reach out to the left and we'll look to the left. Good. Back up to center. You don't really need the strap. Both hands come up towards the heel above the knee joint. Bring your shoulders off the ground and bring your nose to the knee. We're going to hold here, trying to hold Mr. Right leg down. Excellent. Let that down and let's do the other side, which is right on right and straight up. You put the left hand on the left leg if you like. Here we breathe, everywhere we breathe. Let that leg fall out to the right as you look and reach to the left. And back up. We're going to switch hands on the leg or the strap and come on over and look to the right. Good. Back up. Both hands up above the knee. The shoulders will come up. The nose will come up. And here we are. Do what you can to hold Mr. Left leg down. Mr. and Mrs. Left leg. Good. Let that down. If you have an open wall, let's go to the open wall. If you don't, you could use a couch or a bed or whatever. And this is my absolute favorite. So I'm going to go way back here to do it. And we're going to put the legs up the wall. And I'll talk about the extra little tricks. The one trick is to kind of go on your side so you can get your rear end up against that wall. If you're just going on the couch, it's great too. We want just a little bit of the legs upside down. And then we go on to the back and straight up the wall. And then don't forget to bring your arms out like a T in total like acceptance here. You could part the legs out like so as far as you want. I'm going to keep mine straight up today. And let's just stay here and really relax. Deep breathing in the nose. Let's go 30 more seconds if you don't mind. Good. So you could stay on the wall if you're super comfortable, and then the rest of us are going to come off the wall, and we're going to do just a couple more pieces before we get into our meditation. So I'm going to come closer so you can see this one. Another one of my favorites. This one's kind of new to me. I started doing this one this year. So you want your feet flat here, and you're going to lay down with the arms out like a T. So you see the feet and the knees are 2 fists apart, but we're going to let the knees fall together. Once they fall together, we're going to try to keep one knee touching one leg at all times. So we'll let that all fall over to the right. You see my knee still comes down towards the ankle. And then over, keep them together, over to the other side, comes down to the other ankle. And let's just go back and forth. And maybe put the out breath on when the legs fall to the side. So you could go really slow. This is super great for the lower back. A little more, please. Good. Next time you're over to the right leg's going to be on the underside. Take that right ankle, lift it up and put it on the left knee, and just let the weight pull it down a little bit. And we'll stay here for a couple breaths. Now I'm continuing to look at the ceiling. You could look to the left if you like, but I like looking at the ceiling for this one. Good, and let's get our feet lined up again. So let's do a couple more of this back and forth so we know we got it lined up. There'll be less on the other side because now we're going to go over to the left. And we'll take that left leg up, put the ankle there. And then I'm going to look at the ceiling. If you want to look to the right, you're welcome to. Good. Let's come back to center. And it's easy enough here just to lay down. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. And we're going to go into meditation here, which we're going to hold for a while tonight. It's about, maybe about 7-8 minutes. If you want to put your hands on your belly, although I'm going to do a little bit of guided meditation tonight, you could just feel the fingers moving apart. I'm going to change the lighting. But do whatever you got to do to get yourself super comfortable, and I will be right with you. So laying down in your comfortable space, I want you just to go to your toes. Take all your attention down there. And then have a conversation with your toes. Hello, toes. It seems like you're far away from my brain, which is really not my consciousness, but sometimes acts like it is. So let's talk. Toes, let's relax and feel those toes just dropping down. Feel the ball of the foot getting loose as the feet open up to the sides a little bit, turning into putty, dropping down as the ankles drop down. Let the ankles really get loose so they're barely even ankles, they're just kind of mushy, dropping down into the mat. Come up into the awareness of our shins, which again are, it seems like they're getting heavy, just dropping into the mat and the floor, and the calf is opening up into the floor. The knees are super loose and easy. From the knees to the hips, may take a little longer, so let's really focus there and let them really open up. If they're not opening, shake them just a little bit so we get their attention, just slightly. Letting them drop down. Oh, the fingers joined in. We didn't even notice. They're getting so loose as they drop into the mat. Hands are opening up, and the wrists. The forearms dropping down further and further into the mat. The elbows. The elbows up to the shoulders. The core and the chest have already begun to drop down into the mat. Fingers and the toes are like liquid and they're starting to go off the mat. The head is like jello. I got a jello head. My jello head is dripping down into my mat. My whole body is so loose. It's covering the whole mat and then starting to spread out on the floor. It's going towards the kitchen and the door and the bathroom and the front door. I'm covering, and you're covering the entire space. And then you're going out like liquid down, out the door, down the steps. And you're spreading out further and further, looser and looser. And you're laying on all of Los Angeles like liquid. You're touching the ocean, becoming one with the ocean. You're spreading further across America, up into Canada, down into South America, the seas and the oceans, the whole of the world. Stay here, just covering the whole world. While you're out there in that world, feeling, you can make decisions if you want. You don't have to. You can decide to leave some stuff out there. And maybe there's something real comfortable you want to bring back with you. But for now, we'll just stay there just a little bit longer. Feel the body lift a little bit off the planet, into the mist, into the never-ending, never-ending. And now we come back in. We pull back in everything we want to pull back in. See it coming. Back in through the doors, back up the stairs. Coming back into solid, back onto the mat. Stay there for a moment, feeling whatever it is you want to feel. Then you can move the fingers and toes a little bit. You could rotate at the wrists and the ankles. Let's stretch the hands way over the top of the head, lengthen as long as you can, fingers to toes. We're going to pull the core down. Good, then bring the knees into the chest. And roll yourself up to a comfortable seated position. If anyone wants to go over and unmute themselves, once I mute you in the new Zoom layout, it is difficult to unmute yourself. I'm going to ask Trixie if she wants to be unmuted. Let's see. All right, Jess got unmuted. Amy got unmuted. All right. I'll give you all a second to get unmuted because we do have our final ending here tonight because we have the full moon. And it is the full strawberry moon. So we're going to take this last second here together, unmuted. We're going to take a breath in. And then together we howl at the moon. Oh! Oh, we need one more of those. You're living your dream, don't miss it. Namaste. Thank you,
Daniel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. We're good together here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's danieloverberger.com. I think all of you know that. You can find my Venmo and my PayPal at danieloverberger.com. But I know every single one of you guys tonight. It's awesome to see you all back. And we will see you Monday. Namaste. And that is it. I'm going to stop